Hello and welcome to episode 28 of our Timberborn Update 7 Emberpelts hard mode playthrough here in cycle 35, day 14. We've got 23 days left in this current drought. And last time, we got this aqueduct completely finished, quote-unquote, so that it is putting bad water into our bad water retention lake and sending it through here and then eventually out this way. And there's still a little bit of work to do here to make sure that we don't completely flood everything. Eventually, as you guys pointed out in the comments, we are going to need to adjust the teeth on our weir here. We need to get rid of this little island, and we probably should open this up a little bit more. We'll see what happens. But we spent a couple episodes building this thing specifically, and we've kind of, I'm not going to say neglected, but we've let some other stuff go by the wayside, specifically some of the well-being items over here that we had started working on but never actually finished, and again just kind of put aside so that we could do something else that was pretty cool. But I don't remember where these stranded... Were these bots from building all this stuff over here? Ah, that's right. These absolute buffoons got themselves stuck under here. Well, I'm not going to be able to get them out, so see you later. But we have a couple other things we want to fix based on your feedback, like I did say before. Very popular comment made is that the sluices here, thank you email client, sluices actually needed to be here, which is going to be an interesting problem for us to solve, because I don't know that there's actually access here yet. We'll have to build it. But since it is a drought, we do have the opportunity to take care of that. This right here is currently turned off because this is a regular water source. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take this platform out and this platform out. Remember, we are in a cutaway view currently, and I'm hoping this will fit here. It looks like it will. Yeah, and then this just needs, we can leave these sluice gates here, or we can just have it always set to open. Probably is going to make more sense. Are they actually able to get up here to do this? I don't think so. Oh, they're doing it from above. Okay. Cool. Well, that would be really nice if they could actually get this finished without me having to build something else. But what's happening here is this is what needs to be closed below contamination so that all of the clean water flows up and above. If we didn't have this here, as you guys pointed out, there would be some issues with this sluice activating at the end during bad tides, because the contamination wouldn't be exactly right. The percentages are... I'm bad at explaining it, but the reasoning made sense when you guys put that in there, so we're just going to go ahead and leave that there. And again, there's no reason to not have this here because it's already here. I'll just have it set to open, which... It might look like it's doing some weird stuff, but that is just whatever is left in here actually good to go. When this is operating and there's water coming out of it, then the good water is just going to go all the way up here and come off this end there. So, the water is really high here. It is really high because I didn't quite make this wide enough, so what I'm gonna do is just pop in this bit here. Yeah, see, this is it's just gonna have a little bit of a backflow issue because we haven't quite done this exactly the correct way, but at this point it's probably a little bit too late to fully make things correct. So we're just gonna keep on doing what we can do and just let it be what it's gonna be. But I figured it would probably be easiest to just pop in at least around here, keep this from overflowing too terribly much, and then focus on the... Look at these guys go. Focus on when this comes around, say, the corner here. Maybe we take this bit out and replace it with a platform or something. But the thing that I think might be the biggest help is going to be to come in here and increase the amount of edges we have on our weir teeth. So if you blast these out, that's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 edges, theoretically, which should be enough. And I know they can't get into this, Or can they? That would actually be very surprising if they could do that, but it hasn't thrown me an error yet. So perhaps... Okay, that one says it can't reach. This one says it... Ah, okay, because that's coming in here. I guess that's to be expected, but... Once this one gets exploded, I guess I could put in a couple of platforms here. Just trying to solve a couple problems. See, here it goes again. Here it goes again, flooding through here. Alright, so I really hate turning this stuff off. Because it ends up, more often than not, just kind of being a problem. But I will pause that. We do have poison going into the reservoir. I am trying... I'm trying to fix it. But this rarely ends up actually being a no-nonsense viable thing here. I know someone is probably screaming at their computer, "You're doing it wrong." Well, yeah, I probably am, but nothing I can do about it. Well, there is something I can do about it. That's not do it wrong, but I don't know how to not do it wrong. So... that's the way it goes. I'm going to blast this down so that the water level can be consistent through here. And then, yeah, coming out this end here, I suppose... See, I kind of wanted to just keep this in place here. So what we're going to need to do is most likely just bring this out this way. Just have it be a little bit further out. And then we can have everything come out exactly where it needs to. Right, like so. Of course, thank you, autosave, for completely ruining that for me. Let's put a little L-bend here. And then I suppose... yeah, gotta be careful with these overhanging things now. Just pop that bit in there, and I'm just going to take the end off of this. That should help. We're basically only pumping badwater out of this, and we really don't need to. I could probably get rid of these, and probably nothing would be bad. But, you know, it's one of those things. You never know until you know. That should help, at least. That is, yeah, not ready to go because I hadn't... fully got this taken care of yet. I'm pretty sure I can get away with putting a bridge here. And then they can pop that in. That should help. But yeah, we have a little bit of a problem that hopefully we can fix. Let's just do this. I don't know if they're going to be able to reach this. They should be able to. I think. But we'll find out. Yeah, it looks like this is going to work. Cool. I was a little worried that that might be outside of the distance maximum, but seems to be doing okay. And then that one, of course, will be done there. And that ideally will stop this from overflowing so much. It might do a little bit of that coming through here. And then I did say that maybe I should get rid of this corner bit. So I will go ahead and get rid of that tiny piece. And you know what? You know what? We have technology. If I put this as a tunnel, it will automatically replace it with a platform. Without me having to worry about it. Which, I guess technically from a material standpoint, it probably would be cheaper to do it with just dynamite and then put a platform in myself. But this is kind of a cool thing to just automatically put that in there. Nice and simple. Assuming they can, you know, actually finish it. And hopefully that makes the corners a little bit less stupid. We'll have to turn everything else back on. But I know this one's turned off, and then back in here, one of these is turned off. We're still working on getting the rest of this taken care of, and that is going to be a process that will, say it with me, just take time. It is what it is at this point. Just gotta kind of leave it alone. But I couldn't leave it completely alone without at least trying to do something, because then, you know, we'd have a lot of problems. But this should be enough edges to compensate for the altitude change there. And then this can get done here. I don't know that that's actually going to change too much, but that was requested as something that could possibly help. So that's not a bad thing. The water level here is substantially lower, so perhaps that did actually help. Down to about 15,000 HP. But once this is fully taken care of, I want to say we'll be okay. I'm going to turn this back on and see. It's going to be perhaps a little bit of a challenge here, but we can watch the water level here and see if it's going to climb at all. I've left my cursor at the top of where it was previously. Okay, yeah, it is really going up. But now that we have all those sluices, or not sluices, the weirs, I always get words confused, in place, that should being the operative term, be enough to just let that come out peacefully without any drama. And it looks like that's the case. So since those are completely separate, now what probably needs to happen once, this is taken care of is this just gets blasted out. But we can, give ourselves a little bit more insurance against overflows into the reservoir by putting this additional wall in place, just as a safety precaution. And that should keep all of the nasty water from going into the reservoir again, even though there is a little bit in there, which unfortunately is going to be what it's going to be. We can pump it out. Can pump this reservoir completely dry before the end of the drought, and then that will cause all the bad water that's left in there to evaporate. So that's an idea. I do have this set to close above contamination, so once it gets to be too contaminated, to where it changes from 0 to 1, then it'll just shut, and then we can't pump any of that out. So that, hopefully should be okay. The water level here has not gotten to a dangerous level. It has gone up, but I don't anticipate it being too high unless we have, bad water coming through here as an additional 4 strength. Check our levels up here. Thank you, autosave. Yeah, it's still pretty high, but it's probably fine. Probably. Seems to just constantly be an issue. I know that really frustrates some of you, but I literally have no ability to do anything about that. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I want to go back to some of our well-being stuff, because honestly, a lot of it's looking really good. But then you get down here in aesthetics and the awe and the fun and everything. We just haven't done too much with regard to this. And at this point in the playthrough, it's not going to be hard. But we have to actually design the little pyramid thing that we talked about doing to put our Wonder of Fire on, which of course is the endgame thing for this faction, custom designed. So yeah, I don't know that I have a great design for that right now. I'm not going to try and force something, but just know that that is something we will be working on at some point. And then the other thing that we've kind of ignored for a very long time is housing, and there's so many more options on this now. Obviously, we have the tenement lodges and the double vertical lodges, but we also have sky bridges and different things relating to those that we haven't even taken a tiny look at yet. And I know that's been something that's been really improved in the mods since we built our first housing complex over here. And I said I was going to do something about that and change things around, especially because none of the beavers are working anymore. It's all bots. We have 360 bots. And currently 3 of them are stuck underneath the bridge, and we're never going to see those again, so that's 357-ish. Now it's 358 that we can actually put to work. And we actually have 5 who aren't working, so I guess we can figure something out for those guys. But a long time ago, I said we're going to put in some sort of housing complex over here. And we have all of these things that we can build into the cliffs, on the cliffs. We can put sky bridges in place. I haven't played with these at all, so if we get into this and stuff, starts to not make a whole lot of sense, or I'm doing it wrong, well, that's just how it goes. But the idea is that we've got a little bit of modularity here we can play with its own set of ladders and entrances and stairways and tubeway connections even, along with the actual skyway bridges themselves. You'll notice they kind of bear a little bit of a resemblance to when we get in here to the tubeways, the Emberpelts only tubeway bridges, kind of like that. I thought it was really cool. And then, of course, we have tubeway tunnels And then we have two-way levees and all sorts of stuff that we can blast out as a result of the new Update 7 stuff that was released a little while back while we were busy working on Aqueduct Fun. But at any rate, I told you guys we were going to put in some sort of housing into the cliff here, and I guess it's probably about time to make good on that. I just do not know exactly what I would like to do, and I don't want it to look super ugly. So it might be one of those things that's going to end up being some sort of a trial and error thing here. Like, you take a look at the buildings, they've actually changed a little bit since we last took a look at them, and this is to accommodate stuff like the skyways and all that. If that's what that's called, sky bridges. I don't know why I default to calling things the wrong name. I guess it's just something I kind of can't avoid. But I'm going to start looking for opportunities to just kind of stuff things into various cliff faces and make stacks of things, make it look a little bit more organic whenever possible. And it's going to be an ugly process of fitting stuff through here. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to be the best thing you've ever seen. It might actually be the worst thing you've ever seen. But we're going to get something going here. And I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to time-lapse this. I know time-lapse fans are absolutely just ecstatic, and the rest of you are like, oh, come on, not again. But if I did this live play trying to do this, this video would be 3 hours long, and you guys were like, I hate these things now because this is terrible. Well, if I time-lapse it, then I have the time to think about things, and I can condense stuff. And then after I'm done, I can say, hey, here's what I did. And it's not going to sound completely insane. Well, maybe it still will. You never know how these things are going to go. But you can watch the whole process in real time, being time-lapsed in not real time. And then when we come back in real time, I can talk about what I did in not real time. And then after you pick your brains up off the floor, then I guess we can move on and get to the rest of the episode. All that being said, I'll talk to you after this. Okay, so I think I'm at my wit's end with this. I've tried to do, I guess, something. I managed to get it hooked up. This is incredibly ugly, and I do want to kind of redo this, but I've got, I guess, the incorrect piece attached to this. Like, I thought I had the, okay, maybe I didn't have the entrance one. But this specifically, this Skybridge entrance is supposed to create a new door on the Triple Lodge. You take a look at the thing here says, adds another door to a lodge. But I built it, and it doesn't look like it made a new door. I do have, you know, these things connected, and that's fun. I've got some interesting looking stuff, but this one, I guess I could go ahead and make sure that when this gets built, this isn't still here. Okay, that disappeared. But I don't know, maybe I'm just doing it wrong? But I figured that the, you know, the ladder piece, if I can get my angle right here, I figured the ladder piece would actually still connect here just fine. I'm honestly not entirely sure what's going on with this. But, I mean, I guess it's going to be easy enough for me to just come in here with, you know, some platforms, fill in a little bit of space here. Probably actually going to have to do overhangs for this, just because of how this is set up. But if I were to get this blasted out right here, I'm gonna have to put a little bit more of a of an access point in with these guys. Yeah, that's probably gonna be what I have to do. I don't know. I wanted to mess with this a little bit and see if I could make something that doesn't look completely terrible, just so we can, you know, play with the technology, see what's up. Because I do really like the idea. I really don't know what I'm doing with this. But, like, they're using the sky bridges, which is really cool. And I've used some of these unique roofing pieces we've got here to kind of put some stuff on top of things. I guess it's just, it's one of those things where I don't have a whole lot of ideas, but you guys keep asking for it. So I want to do something. So maybe it's one of those things that just kind of has to organically grow over time, and we'll have to just gradually get some stuff built up. But I think, in general, I'm going to take these two-way bridges out once we've decided we're more or less finished. But I think in general, it's probably okay to just start with a little bit of something and then move on to other stuff. But we'll go ahead and blast that out. And we can, at the very least, get that hooked up. I believe that should. Unless I have to have... See, this is where this gets kind of complicated, because I think... I haven't done a lot of looking into this, but I think the sky bridge stuff has to interface with a path through an entrance. So, like, if I did, say, right here, and then I did another ladder piece... Okay, that looks like that wants to connect. But then I'm left with this whole stack of ladders here that's not tremendously good looking. Ah, see, that actually made a second doorway in here. Okay, but that's not... I guess the entrance is just on all four sides then? Well, at any rate, this is connected, so I guess that works. Let me, well, I have to delete all of these individually. Alright, well, I'm going to clean this up a little bit so it doesn't look quite so ridiculous. And I guess what we can... Oh, this is a right mess here. I guess what we can do is, if you have ideas for the cliffside sprawling just abomination of nonsense that we've started creating here, please do let me know. But I kind of wanted to make something that would fit into the cliffs a little bit without looking completely insane. And in response to that, I've created something that arguably looks more insane. But, you know, I like the idea of just making little incremental bits of progress, seeing if there's something we could fix, and moving right along. So this is good to go here. I think, if we are careful with how we do this, I'm going to be able to blast... Come on. Blast this bit out 1. And then these out 2, just to have this go all the way out. And then this platform is here so we can actually put this piece of dynamite in. The rest of it, not so much. We'll have to wait, but I can also do this bit here. And then once it has completely unrestricted flow out, then I think we're probably going to be in pretty good shape. You just have to let it be what it's going to be. I'll get that bit in. As a reminder, we currently have one of these sources turned off, but all of these are operating, all 3, and we do still have the opportunity during a bad tide to have these 4 strength combined sources come out through here. But it seems like this has been able to handle things pretty well. Got no complaints there, and it looks like we are just about ready to go here. Just... bring that all the way. Get these pieces out. And that's got a lot more outflow potential, and it's all coming through here just as we planned. Well, kind of planned. And I guess that's okay. So the beavers are continuing to reproduce and fill up the little cliffside weirdness over here. There's still some opportunity to put some more stuff over in this area, and I guess... since I said something earlier about it, we probably should put some more stuff over here. We do have dance halls, but we also have the ability to build exercise plazas. We can put a carousel, detailers, which actually we now have the stuff for, so I might as well go ahead and unlock those. Show you guys some of this. I guess here and here, we've got my face, and we've got Gary. So, enjoy Gary, which shows up on the tail of the beaver as AR and then part of the tree, but I don't know. You guys keep asking for it, so there you go. But the rest of this, it looks, this lighting effect, like flashing like this, is really weird. But, yeah. I guess we could probably put some contemplation spots in as well. Just right here at the end, and then right here in front of the tubeway station as well would probably not be a bad choice. The carousel is going to require power, which we obviously don't have over here, but we could if we really wanted to. I think, though, if we're going to build the carousel, remember Emberpelts does use the old carousel design from pre-update 5, I think. I want to say it's pre-update 5. but, or at least early update 5 before. I know they changed it at some point during or prior to update 5, but I digress. This is a little bigger than the current model that we have in update 7 for the vanilla beavers, but I think we can find a couple of spots to put this, and it does take 400 HP, so if we're going to build one outside of our power grid, we're going to have to build a liquid fuel engine, which, you know, isn't a problem. We have 12,000 fuel stored up. So if we decide we have a place kind of nearby that would make sense to put one or more carousels, then I think we should do that, but it's not really going to line up tremendously well with all of this stuff, and it definitely isn't going to fit on this island in a way that will make sense. So why don't we instead just kind of make some room for a couple of these over here, but maybe maybe move this pathway one this way so it lines up with all the rest of this. And then if I pop one here, actually, hold on. I don't know why I paused the game. If I move this guy here, then what can fit in the middle is actually on the back side a liquid fuel engine. Now I know it's not connected, but you put that there, and then I suppose this would be fine like that. Guess what we've got in the middle here? We've got a little power shaft. If there's something we wanted to connect on this side, we could at some point eventually, but I don't know right now if there's anything that does fit in a one wide thing besides possibly the oh, what's that thing called? The Phoenix distillery? Yeah, see, that would fit. But Phoenix Essence I don't think is something that's terribly useful for us, because the decontamination pod takes Phoenix Essence, but we don't have any contaminated beavers. Oh, you know what? I missed a tremendous opportunity here. I missed a tremendous opportunity. We're going... You probably already know what we're doing here. I'm going to flip this carousel so it turns the other way. So it's like a set of egg beaters, or those handheld mixers or whatever. Yeah, just pop this thing in here, and then they'll both go. This one will go this way, this one will go this way, and it's going to be all sorts of fun. We have that same loop of that music just going over and over and over and over and over until you completely lose your mind. Yeah, this should be finished in just a moment here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I love that. That's fun. And we've got a little bit of space here, although it's not 5 by... Oh, they're the songs are offset. This is cursed. Okay, we have to leave. But I do have one of these exercise things here, and we have a couple contemplation spots. We got some scratchers. So, you know, we take a look at our well-being. I don't think we actually need any more of those. Exercise plaza is looking good. Carousels should be pretty robustly represented. Scratchers should be good. Detailers... they're kind of far, so I guess we could build a few more of those. The biggest gains that we're going to get are going to come from these aesthetic things that we haven't really done at all. And right now, most of these beavers are living here. So I think if we want to be efficient with this, then I can take a beaver statue, which actually will reach all of these guys, right like that. Can be built from underneath. Clocks... it doesn't make sense to put a clock someplace like right there. But, you know, next to this two-boy station probably would actually make sense. Face it this way so we can actually see it. And they still get a benefit in these 3 housing units there. And what else was I missing here? Beaver bust, beaver statue, and clock. I thought I had unlocked... Okay, well, the beaver bust is slightly shorter than the statue, so hey, there you go. This ends up, I guess, turning into that meme, don't talk to me or my son ever again, or whatever, which is, I guess, kind of funny, but is there anywhere else I can realistically pop these things without it being just completely stupid looking? The answer to that question is probably no, just because of how this is laid out. But if we have a couple of places kind of centrally-ish located, or we could get away with putting some, like, I guess, right here. There we go. That's going up. say, the beaver bust staring directly out that way. It's probably not a terrible thing. Remember, we have these beavers and such going through these tubeways constantly. And we all... I cannot believe these bots are still alive. We also have control towers that we probably could stand to build a few more somewhere, but maybe not. Maybe not. We might actually be looking okay. I don't think we need to keep this village of bots either. I think this can probably safely go away if we get to a point where we decide we're finished with this. Putting out almost 20,000 HP, that's pretty stinking cool. What we haven't done, however, is we haven't connected that to this power area, and I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what the best way to do that might be. I know we have this coming here, and the well-being just continues to go up. Wait, we don't have any credit for shrubs or lanterns? Okay, that's an easy one to fix. We hadn't even unlocked those at all. So I guess I could just find a couple places that might like to have some shrubs and just stick them there for no real discernible reason. All right, contemplation spot. Contemplation time is over. Is this a natural slope? It is. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can just leave that there. How's everything else looking? How are we looking on campfires? Oh, totally good. Okay. Shrubs will go up in time. Lanterns. I missed the lanterns and Torii Gates mod. I know this is it's not update 7 compatible yet, or at least I am pretty sure it isn't. So we do still have the regular lanterns, but I do like the kind of modular ones that come in that mod. So without the ability to really put these on paths, I think it's kind of limited what we can be doing here. But you know, it's always easy-ish to put it near pathways. Places that might make a little bit of sense. But, you know, in a place like this little fun island, then it's actually not a bad idea to put in some, say, like this. That's going to take up a little bit of space, maybe make it look kind of nicer. Now we have space to put fences as well, just little decorative pieces here and there. So that's not too shabby. Just little improvements. And now we got beavers with stuff on their tails. How's that transferring over here? Okay, we can definitely put in some detailers in another part of town just to make access to those easier. So just for the sake of, you know, things not looking completely stupid, I guess we'll do that. Although these songs are going to drive me completely insane if I spend too much more time over here. Going up to 59. I guess really the only thing that we truly need to put in now is Tribute to Ingenuity, which requires power, and Wonder of Fire, which does not require power but requires us to have some sort of a something. The range on this is actually pretty good. If I put it here, then it will reach our Cliffside Abomination, and it will also reach our normal housing. But I haven't checked from this angle. Okay, it wouldn't reach unless I put closer to here. So, you know, I kind of don't know where the best spot for this to go would be. Kind of tempted to put it here, honestly. There's nothing in this exact spot. It is an empty area. And it is kind of centrally located, so I guess you guys can let me know your thoughts on that in the comments if you have any. And let's see. I mean, I don't really know, from a standpoint of genuine, actual need, what else is left for us to do here. What's our... Okay, this says contamination of 1%. This is not going to all evaporate in 4 days. How deep? Oh, that's so deep. Okay. So, probably what needs to happen, if we want to completely purge badwater, is I need to put in some sluices here for emergency flushing purposes. Because right now, all of our water is just coming through here. And, you know, 1% is not going to hurt anything. Honestly, I probably could just leave it alone. It'll dilute over time. But it has stopped these sluices, and I can open this, but I don't want it to flood. And if I want to be rid of the problem once and for all, then I am going to need to flush it, which might make things a little bit complicated. So I think when we get enough new water in here, then the pollution will go away or become negligible enough where we aren't going to have to worry about it. Yeah, because it is like going open, close a little bit. So I guess it's fine. I don't need to complicate things. I'll just leave it alone. But all that to say, I believe I can start wrapping things up here. I'm going to open this, see if this backs up at all. It shouldn't. I think this is I mean, this is super ugly. Like, don't get me wrong. But I think that has solved our problem for the most part. We should be okay. This is drying up for the most part. I mean, the well-being is up to 60, which is about as high as it's going to get without either of these things in here. We might get to 61 or 62, depending on how this ends up shaking out. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I really would like some ideas, suggestions, feedback on building Cliffside or building with the sky bridges or whatever, because I'm honestly kind of lost trying to figure out what I want to do with that. Just because it's not a type of building I've ever had to do in this game, so I've never done it. And it ends up just being like, okay, well, yeah, this is really cool. I don't know what to do with it. And I guess there's maybe a couple small things I could try. But outside of that, I'm kind of out of ideas for this playthrough. I know we wanted to make a bunch of stuff green, and we can definitely do that. But that would be a next episode thing anyhow. I guess just let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want to see, because at the end of the day, you are the people who watch the videos. And if you're having a good time, then I'm having a good time. If you're not, well, then I'm probably still having a good time because I like this game. But I'd like to know how to make things better. So, I guess we'll go ahead and end it here. I know it's a little bit shorter, not quite as much done today, but still some important things, getting that Aqueduct a little bit more backup-proofed. Trying a little bit of the Cliffside lodging skybridge stuff. But I really do appreciate your support on the series, Beard Boosters especially, making it possible for the channel to be sustainable and for me to invest as much time and energy as I am into doing daily videos with the beavers as much as I can. But it does not go unnoticed. I really appreciate you, and I really cannot say it enough. So I say it every single episode, but these folks really do truly make it possible for me to exist on the platform and to take care of real life stuff as well. But I really appreciate you, even if you're not on that list. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back in this series on Monday, hopefully with some cool suggestions from you guys on what else to do to start closing out this series. And we'll see you back tomorrow for some more Update 7 with the Folktales. And then Roller Coaster Tycoon on Sunday, because people keep asking about that despite me saying in the past like 5 videos. But it'll be fun. We'll see you. Stay safe, have fun. Bye-bye.